gentlemen, the Uncutt Podcast.
No, Matt, we're doing the thing.
No, I'm not doing the thing.
I thought you were going to do the thing.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys.
No. Maybe it might going away show at some point. I don't know, but not today. No.
No, okay. Everybody, forgive me for doing the show from bed. I'm sick as fuck, but I could not be a part of this show tonight. So, I think that sentence was grammatically terrible.
It was a game time decision.
It was. It literally was. Coach decided to put me in at the last minute. Oh,
I'm personally glad you're here, Nick.
I sound like ass. I apologize in advance for everybody listening to the audio of this show. But don't worry, nobody's here to listen to me. They're kind of here to listen to Matt because he sounds great every week. I love him. They're not here to listen to Robbie. He's just the pretty face.
Thanks.
I almost said it without laughing.
Oh, I love you and hate you both at the same time so much.
I tried to be serious.
We were really going to do it. We were so going to make it happen. They are here this week for all of our personal friend. We knew him before he was famous, but he was always famous in our hearts. Now he's TikTok icon and like Twitter superstar and huge
Instagram hero.
Like, ladies and gentlemen, the professor, Nick Harrison.
Spit it like alpacas, never stammer. With that raw power hitting harder than a hammer. Took years, don't think years never jammed up. Now watch me craft a crowd and turn a mob into a fandom. But like a phantom, threatened by anger. They don't like the mods, I guess that fighting is the answer. I show them I'm the boss, like my name is Tony Danza. I progress and cut them out just like they cancer. With the mind games, hatred and outrage. The household controls and multi-man with a high rate. To be a clinical, cynical, and defy fate. I'll be an artist, not a corpse up on the highway. But the haters hate, no matter what they say. Got my headphones on blast, ain't got time today. Find an outlet to escape. Go from nothing to, yeah, I'm gonna be great.
Welcome.
TJ Vegas.
Impressive. That's impressive. Shout out to TJ Vegas, my man. Love that song. Check out the new EP. He's dope. Gentlemen, good evening.
Dude, you look like you were having such a good time in that video and like every clip.
That's what it's about, man. You got to have fun. That's why I do it. You know, it's not a thing of me wanting to trying to push myself, you know, get any kind of like fame or anything like that. It's just I enjoy it and I enjoy that other people enjoy it so we can all enjoy it together. We have fun here. That's what it says on my bio on TikTok. We have fun here, and that's what we do.
So Nick, what you know, this is the wrestling show now that we do, not the last one that we had you on. So what are like your earliest memories as a wrestling fan, and what kind of got you interested in wrestling as a kid?
I remember being a young kid wearing diapers. My uncle sat me down one day at his house while he was babysitting me, and we sat down to watch wrestling. And, you know, it was old WCW stuff, NWA stuff from years and years ago, because if I was in diapers, that means it was at least years ago.
Yeah.
And that was when, you know, your Stings, your Ric Flairs, your Lex Lugers, your Dusty Rhodes, your Magnum TAs, your Four Horsemen, your Road Warriors, you know, were prevalent. That's when they were big. And, you know, it was the big grand characters that I would see on the TV screen that just, you know, pulled me in. And, you know, I've been down with it ever since.
Robbie.
Hey, no, I'm just kidding.
Good God damn it.
Can you tell us when you first started watching wrestling, who were some of your favorites to be fan favorites for, and who were some of the people that you just couldn't stand that you hated?
I was a big fan of the bad guys. Like I mean, I can't really think of anybody when I was a kid that I just couldn't that I would just boo and hate it because I liked watching it. I love the spectacle of it, and going to see being living in the South, being from Louisiana, those guys used to run through here all the time. So uh, uh, if we want to talk about guys that I really like, the Four Horsemen, I was big on. Love Dusty Rhodes. Those were guys that I just really got it. The Fabulous Freebirds. Just I really loved that kind of stuff. Later on, Doom, Ron Simmons, man. I was big supporter, big fan of Ron Simmons back when I was a kid. Because of what he represented, and because I didn't always see guys with like this that were on the TV screen. So to have somebody to look up to and to admire, meant a lot to me as a kid. And because Vader growing up, you would watch Vader. If there was one guy that I could have possibly like hated when I was a kid, it's probably Vader. Because Vader always beat up the guys that you really loved and just like beat them to a pulp. And you hated to see that guy. Yokozuna was another one that I just really, as if I just couldn't get into. I was not that I didn't like him, just he was the bad guy, and he was always beat. It was usually the big guys, the bullies that would beat up your smaller wrestlers. That really kind of grinding my gears, as it were. So yeah, but it's just being able to watch a lot of those guys and really get into what they were doing and to grow to love it is what it really, that's what it was about for me. And so those were the guys that I either loved or just could not stand.
Just for clarification, when you said the Four Horsemen, what's your favorite version of the Four Horsemen? To you, who are the Four Horsemen?
My favorite iteration of the Four Horsemen would probably be Arn, Tully, Rick, Barry.
Yes.
Thank Nick.
Yeah.
So all the three of us, we all know you quite well, but I'm going to ask you a question that even I don't even know about you. So, of course, we all know that, you're a teacher, you work with Grambling, you're DJ, all the things that you do. But most importantly, what made you fall in love with teaching?
I fell in love with teaching back when I was in high school. I remember being a teenager and joining this club in high school called Future Teachers of America. And, that really kind of nurtured a love of education for me. And I remember we went to this summer program in New Orleans at Xavier University. That was my first time really being away from home. I was, I think, a sophomore in high school, 15. And we were living in the dorms on Xavier campus. We were interacting with the college students. This was like early mid 90s, Louisiana. Just a really cultural explosion, especially when it came to hip hop and that kind of thing. And being in that program and, teaching, we had little kids they would bring in as part of the summer program, like elementary school kids they would bring in, and we would kind of teach them. And that just, I loved it. I loved every minute of it. So going through school and going to college and then leaving out of college right after I got my master's degree, I went for theater, and the acting jobs just weren't there like I wanted them to be, and I needed to be home because my mother was sick. So I started substitute teaching to make some extra money and to just get out of the house some. And that's where it really started to blossom, because just being in the classroom and being able to do that with those kids and go back to something that I fostered a love for early on in my life was really just, it was a saving grace for me at the time. And going from there to I was still subbing. I was waiting tables. I was waiting tables one day, and somebody said, "Hey, why are you here with all of the, you got 2 degrees, you're well educated, you need to come and apply over at GSU." And I taught there for 7 years as an instructor, which is where the nickname the professor came from. And I don't know how much I've told that story, or how much you guys know about how the professor came to be. While I was teaching at Grambling, little known fact, I was never actually a professor. I was an instructor. That was the title because of the level of my master's degree. I had an MA and I needed an MFA to be given the title of professor. So while I was there, I was also working at a local ESPN radio affiliate here in North Louisiana as a producer and on-air talent. And the nickname that they gave me on the air was the Professor Nick Harrison, and that just stuck. So so a lot of where my origins come from, as far as the entertainment name, the nickname, or the gimmick, since this is a wrestling podcast, come directly from my background and my love of education. So a lot of the stuff that's going on with me now, with the success, it all came from me having a deep love of education and a want to pour into the life of the youth. So that it all started back in Future Teachers of America, back in like the mid 90s in small town Granville, Louisiana.
So you are constantly putting out new content, which is awesome. I mean, and very rarely do you not hit a fucking home run. Where does the creativity come from? Like, where does the inspiration? I mean, obviously, I know some of it's got to be real life stuff, and the wrestling entrances is just you being awesome at doing that. But the more like personal stuff, the class clown bit from today, which had me rolling at work, where does that stuff come from?
Well, I have a big jumbled brain of mush.
Fair enough.
There are a lot of things up here, ideas and things that I love and I'm into. Shout out to dear Matthew over there. His video that he put on TikTok today, where he talked about how I was a jack of all trades. One of my favorite lines of all time was from this old internet show called the Slim Shady Show. And I think they may have it. You may still be able to find it. It was like an animated series, starring Eminem and like some other people who voiced some characters. And I remember they did a parody of John Stamos. And Stamos said, "Look, I'm a jack of all trade, master of none." And that's kind of me. I'm a jack of all trades, master of none, much like John Stamos. Like I there's a lot of stuff that I'm into and that I love and that I have an interest for. So one of the things about TikTok that's really cool is that they have all of these fantastic and cool sounds that people will put onto the app, and you can either use that or you can make your own stuff and create your own sound, which usually tends to go very well. And when I hear a sound, I try to match it to something that I really love. Like, one of the things about content creation for me is that people can tell when you're being genuine. Like, people know when, one, you know what you're talking about with your subject matter, and two, if you really dig it, like if you really love it, if you have a love for it. So one of the things that I tried to do on social media, and specifically on TikTok, was dive into the things that I love. In the beginning, if you go back and watch the very first videos, I started out just doing straight up comedy, because I was just testing it out. I was trying to figure out what this whole TikTok thing was all about. And the followers kept growing and growing exponentially day and week. And I thought that was just what happened with everybody, the way that my followers were climbing at the beginning. But then it started to get to the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And that's when I started doing the wrestling stuff. Like I was doing the wrestling entrances and stuff and doing wrestling related content. And that was for a while pretty much all I did, especially in the beginning during the COVID stuff when I wasn't in school. You know, I went months without working. Like I was just at home. They were sending us checks. I had nothing to do. So I was like, let me jump on this TikTok thing and see what's up. And you had a lot of teachers who were at home and had nothing to do that started doing the TikTok thing and started doing the social media thing because that was all, they were at home and bored. And a lot of them, much like me, were former theater students that kind of fell backwards into teaching. So they put all of that old theater training and like stuff that they did when they were younger and doing like little theater at home to good use, much like I did. And I was just having fun, enjoying myself and entertaining other people because we were at a time and still are where there was so much going on in the world and people just needed something to smile about, needed something to be happy about. And y'all know me, I'm an entertainer at heart. So, you know, if you're down, I'm going to check on you. I'm going to see what's up because, you know, I love people and I want them to be able to look on their phones and to see me and then just start smiling because something that I did made them laugh or made them happy or made them think. And it's, you know, and one thing that I love above a lot of other stuff is professional wrestling. So to be able to use that creativity and use the sounds and use the trends to match up to things and stuff that I love, that's where the real creativity comes from. Is I hear a sound, I watch a video, and I say, okay, how can I use this sound to match what I'm doing or what I love or what I'm involved with right now? Like if I'm on a trip doing a football game, when you see me doing those videos, that's because I saw a sound that fit with what we were doing that weekend. And it just, so a lot of the creativity comes from either sounds that are already on the app, trends that happen, or if I just have an idea one day and say, okay, let me do this, which I need to do more of. It's just like my, you know, me coming up with an idea and filming it and doing it. But as you have said, and as you know, I barely have time to lace my shoes at this point, which is why they stay laced and I just slip them on in the morning because I'm constantly going, constantly doing everywhere and anywhere. And I try to do what I can when I can do it. Which a lot of the stuff that's coming up week will be out for Thanksgiving break. So a lot of the content will be based on wherever I am at that time. I'll be all throughout South Louisiana for that whole week at different like events and sporting stuff. So it just, the creativity comes from what I hear and what I'm in the middle of at that time that would go along with it.
Man, I love watching you, man. I love watching your TikToks. I love you. You're such an inspirational guy, dude. I know you love kids and I know you love education. Can you maybe, we go back a little bit to your youth and your upbringing. Can you maybe tell us about a teacher, a coach, or a role model when you were young that inspired you to follow your education degree?
I talk about it all the time when people ask me about, you know, who's your favorite teacher when you were a kid? And the first name that pops up and the only name that really pops up for me is Mrs. Ferguson. Mrs. Ferguson was my 5th grade social studies teacher. And she was just the best teacher you could ever have. You know, she was very nurturing, very kind, very motherly, but she was stern. And, you know, you were going to do your work and you were going to behave yourself in her class. And that's kind of the firm hand that I needed because I don't know if you could tell from my personality, but I was a bit of a clown when I was in school. So
you.
No, there's no way. No, it was, you know, she was Yeah, and
Told you I paid attention.
I would always come back to class. That's kind of where the inspiration for that video came from. It was it's me, I as class clown. So yeah, she was somebody that really inspired me at a young age, and a cool story that goes with that. Me working with Grambling State University for the past, I think, 6 years doing sideline reporting, and now majoritively this season I've been in the booth. While the guy who usually is in the booth with us has been doing games for ESPN3. And a couple years ago, as a sideline reporter, I spotted Mrs. Ferguson in the crowd at one of our games. And I made it a point to go up into the stands and bring her on as one of my guests from the sideline to make sure that everybody knew that she was an inspiration to me, that she is my favorite teacher of all time without question. And, I would not be where I am in my life if it were not for her inspiration when I was a kid. So, Mrs. Ferguson, if you're watching the Uncutt podcast, I love you and thank you. And make sure you follow at the Ace Nick White and at Rob 1974 and Love Panda 24 times 48.
We
She's on all
love
our
Miss
socials.
Ferguson.
Thank you, Mrs. Ferguson. You're the
We're
best.
officially the Mrs. Ferguson fan club now.
She's watching right now. I know it.
Sure, she is.
She's marking
She's a
out
big
over
fan
here
of-
right now too.
She's a
She's
big fan
popping
of Hangman
huge.
Adam Page. She's in here.
So of course, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, you've obviously been living under a rock. Professor here was on the bump throughout this year too with WWE. And I'm not going to talk as much about you being on the bump. I want to ask about how did they reach out to you? How did that all go down? And how hard were you trying to not mark out the entire time?
So I'm gonna tell you the whole story of what happened with the bump, and I'm gonna tell you some parts that a lot of people don't know because I love y'all, and I'm gonna give y'all the inside dope. So I was, things on TikTok were going pretty good. I was at a couple 100,000 followers, and it was again playing with house money, man. Like this was never in the plans, never what I expected, never what I asked for. But if that's what God has for me, then I'm going to walk in my purpose and go where He leads me. So we were doing standardized testing, and we were finished for the day. And the kids were like, "Hey, Mr. Harrison, let's do a video." And I was like, "Okay, what video do you want to do?" And somebody was like, "Do the Undertaker. Let's do the Undertaker." And I said, "Okay, cool. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do," and I'm sure that you guys have seen the video. It's been like the WWE has, used it on their program. It was on the bump, so I had set up the camera in the back, and I had one of the kids to work the light by the door so he could turn the lights off before I'm getting ready to walk into frame, and then turn them back on as I walk in or as I raise my hand like the Undertaker does. And WWE saw that, commented on it, and started following me. Now, as you know, if you and somebody else follow each other on TikTok, then you're friends and you can send each other like direct messages on the app. And they messaged me on TikTok and were like, "Hey, we really enjoy your content and your videos. How would you like to come on our morning show, The Bump?" And when I got that message, because I think it might have been that day, I got that message in my DMs, and I immediately had to get somebody to come and watch my class, and I had to run around the corner for a second, and I go into this little room right around the corner from my classroom, and I absolutely break down crying. I mean, I'm just in full-on tears because, you grow up watching wrestling. You grow up as a fan, as you guys know, and Maglio, I know specifically. I'm sorry to use your fave name. I apologize, but
Everybody knows it's cool.
yeah, I know. But like you work in the industry. Like you get a chance to work with the guys and like do some stuff. And for the E to message you directly, and I'm getting emotional just thinking about it. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's life altering.
Yeah.
You know, you have all these. It's such a great time to be a wrestling fan right now because you have AEW, you have GCW, you have Impact, you have NWA still running. You got NJPW. You got Ring of Honor still doing stuff until the end of the year. All of this other stuff. You've got all of these things. WWE is still the name. They're the name. So when they directly message you and they say, we want to work with you, we want to do something with you, it just it
How does
validates
it get any better than that? Yeah.
It validates your work, it validates what you do, and it lets you know that there are people watching and there are people that appreciate it. And what was killer was the dates that they came up with originally. I was like, we're still in the middle of testing, so I won't be able to do it that day. And we kept pushing it back and pushing it back. Like I was legit, like that showed me how much they wanted me to be on the bump and they wanted me to work with them, because every time I'm gonna come back to them and say I can't do that date, they were like, okay, we're gonna work with you because we still want you to come on. And that meant a lot to me that they weren't just like, oh, well, screw this guy. We're giving him the chance of a lifetime. And he's like, oh, well, I'm like doing stuff with kids. But like I've said, I'm an educator. I take my job seriously. That is job number one. All the stuff that I do with football and social media and karaoke and all this stuff, teaching is the main priority. Education is a job. So we finally get a chance to do it. And I was like, well, this date is cool, but if you don't mind, I'm going to be in a hotel room in New Orleans. Like, I'm not going to be here. I'll be at a teaching conference. And they were like, that's cool. As long as you can do it from there, we'll just do like the testing, the audio and the video and all this stuff before you get a chance to come on. And to be a part of that and to connect with all of those guys. And what's cool about it is two of my biggest supporters in everything that I've been doing over the past couple of months, especially over the summer, have been Ryan Popola and Matt Camp. I have kept in direct contact. And for those who don't know, those are two of the main hosts of The Bump. Well, two of the hosts of The Bump. And Matt Camp also does Talking Smack. And I think he does the Raw post show too. Ryan does a lot of stuff with the E, and they have been very vocal supporters of everything, not just the wrestling stuff, but everything that I'm doing. Like I posted on Twitter a couple of days ago about my transition into administration, moving from the school I'm at now to another school, and Ryan was one of the first ones underneath to comment and be like, man, that's huge. Congratulations. That's awesome. So to have people who are directly involved with the WWE who still stay in contact with me to this day and support me is just, that stuff is huge, man. It validates what you do, and it lets you know that there are people within the industry that support what you do, not just as far as wrestling is concerned, but just life in general. And it's really cool to be a part of. So I'm just very thankful for the opportunity that the Bump gave me, and then to still get like love from those guys. Like they when Samoa Joe was on, they showed Samoa Joe my entrance live on the Bump, which he had seen it already because he had already retweeted it. Like he had seen it. This wasn't a thing that Joe had not seen, but they showed it to him on there, and he went in depth about, the video and different nuances, and he gave it a 9 out of 10. And he was like, it's not a 10 because it's not me, but it's a solid 9 out of 10. And that just that was just dope, man. And then because I didn't get to watch it live, a lot of people commented on one of the videos that I had just done, and they were like, "Hey, Samoa Joe just talked about your video on the bump," and I pulled it up in class that day with the class that I was in with at that time, and we all watched it together. And the kids to see that, I mean, their minds were just blown because for them, social media, YouTube, it's the end all be all. Right. So their eyes just they talking about you. That's you. That's the. There's not a whole lot of feelings in the world like that, and a lot of that, and that is directly because of the bump. So I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I was given to be a part of that show, and they can call me anytime, and I'm in. So I love them.
Dude, so since then you've been on, let's see, SmackDown. I see you get retweeted constantly. Shawn Michaels. the big one for me was Shawn Michaels because that's my favorite wrestler of all time. That's still alive.
Man, that
was wild. Who have been your favorite interactions that you've had?
God, it's hard to pick, man. I can't. It's hard for me to pick what my favorite interaction with somebody who's in the business it has been so far, because there are a lot of people who have retweeted that have so I'll give you some of my favorites, but I can't give you one favorite because I can't just pick one. And I'm gonna start off with Seth Rollins. Like Seth retweeting my entrance of his, that's one of my favorite videos that I've done, period. Let's throw out that it was a wrestling entrance. Just the video, period, was just so much fun to do. And I still go back and watch it from time to time. It was really cool for not only for that, for people to get into that, but then for Seth to retweet it and to interact with it. It was beautiful. As he called it, it was a thing of beauty. And I really appreciate that. Sasha Banks retweeting and interacting with it and really enjoying the video I did of hers, which is another one that I just really had a lot of fun with. And people really enjoyed it. So that's been really cool. The interactions with AEW duetting my videos, because if I'm not, they've duetted 3 of my videos so far, which is something that WWE didn't even do. They duetted the Adam Cole one first, which that meant a lot because I got to go back and check the numbers on Instagram, because on AEW's Instagram, I want to say that is the first million view video that I've ever been a part of on Instagram. I got a couple of them on TikTok, but that's the first one that I've had on Instagram or been a part of on Instagram, because it's AEW's video. But it's really cool that they did that. And the Moxley one was really cool. And the Jungle Boy one was especially special for me because my nephew was in it. Like, my nephew was Jungle Boy and I was Luchasaurus. So I had him on my shoulders and he popped up and did the whole little thing. And that was really special for me. Getting retweeted by and followed by Mick Foley. Mick Foley, dude. Like
I got blocked by Mick Foley.
I got blocked by JBL. I feel you, baby. So
I got blocked by Davey Richards and Taz. So
we could probably make a list of all the people who I've been blocked by a porn star before. That's years ago.
Yes. Whoa.
What was his name?
It's shut up. But no,
Whoa.
What was it? It's a girl. It's a whole
different direction.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Like you love who you love. Do what you do. But no. So to be followed by and retweeted by Mick and his son Dewey. Dewey retweeted me too. And that was really cool. Lance Storm has interacted on a couple of my videos, which has just been great. The Hurricane, Shawn Michaels, of course, is right there towards the top of the list. But you know one that I really loved, and that was before Shawn Michaels, was Batista. Because Batista is without question one of my favorite entrances that I've done, because I did it twice. I did it once when I was the TikTok World Heavyweight Champion, and then I did it again into my classroom, and the one into the classroom was the one that did really well, and Batista ended up retweeting it on Twitter saying, "Hey, I love this guy," and that right there meant the world to me, man. At the time, I was freaking out because I was like, oh my God, it's Batista. And even before that, when Rikishi duetted my video and reacted to it and was laughing at it and pointing and called me oos, like, come on, man. When the Keish is calling you oos, like, come on. And then started a trend with it. Like, I was the start of a trend on TikTok because of Rikishi. It's a Hall of Famer, dude. Like, what more can you ask for? Like,
Shout out to Rikishi.
Shout out to the Big Keish, man. To Big Oos. So the interactions that I've had and people, Rhea Ripley and some of, it's just to be able to connect with these people and to see that they like they appreciate what I do means the world to me, because I appreciate what they do, and that's part of why I do what I do. So there have been so many, it's hard for me to just pick one. And I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody. Shout out to Nyla Rose. I love you, Nyla. Thank you for always entertaining me on the tweets.
So, getting more to the mainstream success you've had, tell us about being featured on the Greatest at Home videos with Cedric the Entertainer.
That was out of left field. Again, I'm gonna tell you the whole spiel of how everything came about. So the video that they wanted to use is this video where I'm dancing in front of a train to the song "Come On Ride the Train" by the Quad City DJs. I was driving to a karaoke gig, and I was running behind, and I got stopped by this train that's running through. And Nick, you asked earlier about the creative process. Here you go. Get stopped by the train. I'm waiting forever. The train is super long. I was like, man, what am I going to do? I'm going to end up being late. I was like, wait a minute, train. Come and ride the train. I jump out of the truck, put the phone on the windshield, and stand it up as best as I can. Go put the song on and start dancing in front of the truck to the song. I could not hear the song over the train. So I just had to go off of what I heard from the sound before I started the video to try to stay on beat with it. And if you watch the video, it's pretty in sync with the music, even though I have to give myself a little credit on that. It's pretty in sync with the music, and I couldn't even hear it. But they saw the video went viral, like legit viral. It was like 250,000 views in 2 days, 2 or 3 days. So not too long after that, I'm contacted on Instagram by the entertainment company that produces the Greatest at Home videos. And they're like, yeah, the producers are looking at your video. If you end up being used, we'll let you know. And this was going on at the same time as the SummerSlam announcer contest over the summer.
Yeah.
And there were all these people who were like, yeah, man, you're going to win. You're going to win. And I knew from jump that I probably wasn't going to win that thing. but it was all good. It was fun to be a part of, and shout out to Rain Cruz, Ringside Rain. Then ended up winning the contest. She is a dynamite ring announcer. So all of this is going on at the same time, and I'm thinking to myself, man, like I could really be doing all of this stuff within the span of like a week. This is crazy, and this was right as school was starting, and on top of that. So I was like, God, what if we start like 1 week of school and then I immediately have to leave and go do like some TV show? So, but they contacted me and they were like, yeah, we're going to use you. This is the date. And just make sure you're watching. And everything leading up to that was just surreal to be, you know, the SmackDown thing was surreal too, because SmackDown was network television as well. Because again, this was all happening at the same time because that video was featured on SmackDown because of the ring announcer contest. So within the span of like a week or two, I was on Friday Night SmackDown and I was on CBS's The Greatest at Home Videos. Like it's hard for me to put into words what I was feeling and going through at that time, because it just, you know, again, this was never part of the plan, but it doesn't have to be my plan. It was God's plan. And that's, you know, again, he put it in front of me and said, this is what I have for you, son. So I walked in my purpose and walked in the light that he's shown in front of me. And that's, you know, so I'm just extremely thankful and grateful for all those opportunities. But it's just crazy because that was never that, like, it. They were just like, yeah, you're gonna be on this TV show and Cedric the Entertainer is the host. Here, we're gonna use your video. And it was crazy. It was surreal. But it was great. And it's part of the reason I pay for Paramount Plus now, so I can go back and watch it whenever I want.
So just one question kind of from that. So something really, you know, like tomorrow, something big you could get a call, big phone call saying, hey, we got this for you. Who's the first person you tell? Like, what do you like? You get a phone call from WWE or from Cedric the Entertainer show, and who's the first person you hang up the phone and go, I got to tell somebody? Who do you tell?
My girlfriend Lisa.
Not Matt.
That was honest. I would have put her second, and I don't mean any disrespect with that at all.
That's just the way it is.
It sounds very disrespectful to me.
No, because I'm not saying me as number one. I'm saying shout out to. All right. I'm breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Shout out to Professor's number one fan, Patrick. I would have figured Patrick would be number one, and then
let me take. Hold on. Let me out this guy.
Oh, here we go.
Oh yeah. Patrick still hasn't watched the full episode of The Bump that I was on. Patrick didn't even watch it live.
He's grounded.
Like but here's the thing.
What a jobber.
Put it on for him. I called his mom and I was like, I'm gonna be on TV live. He started watching the episode and just was like, I didn't even get to see your part. It was nothing but talking. They weren't wrestling. So why am I watching this? So that was his logic. He was like, it's a talk show. I don't want to watch this. So no.
Now that I know that, I have seen your episode of The Bump. I have never heard your episode of The Bump because I was at work and I put it on so I could be like, hey, I know this dude, but I was at work. And then, you know, I just forgot to go back and watch it again. But I love you. I love you nonetheless. You looked great.
How dare you? That's fine. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, Professor. So to get back on task, I have two loaded questions for you, and I'm going to let you pick which one. So you either have question A or question B. You pick. I won't tell you which one. You just pick a letter, and that's what we're going with.
B.
All right, here we go. Sorry, my fish just went crazy over
Final
there.
answer.
So B, with all of the TikTok and the social media platform success and the bump and all the recognition and everything like that you've had. I know it's been a whirlwind, and you and I have talked off air and stuff like that. It's been a hell of a ride, and you've just been enjoying it for what it is. What do you think the end game could be? Or where do you think you would be like, you know what? Now this is it.
For me, that's an impossible question to answer. And I'll tell you why. I'm not stopping. Like, there is no, I've made it. Like, I could say that now. If you want, like, to be honest, I can say that now. I can say I've been recognized by the two biggest wrestling companies in the world in the same week. I've been on national television multiple times. I've been on WWE programming multiple times. I have over 850,000 followers on TikTok, and overall about 900,000, close to 900,000 overall on social media. Like, I mean, this is what people aspire to do now. That's what some people want to do now. I am getting ready to move into administration in my professional career. I've done college play-by-play pretty much all season in another one of my careers. I've been named the best, pretty much the best karaoke host in my area. Like, all the stuff that I'm doing, I've reached pretty much the top. I'm not done. There's still a lot more to do. There's still a lot more people to reach. There's still a message to get out there. There is not going to be a moment that I can think of right now where I will just be like, yeah, I'm cool. I finally made it. I've reached the pinnacle. I have reached the mountaintop. No, I'm not. I don't know if there ever be that time, because there's still a whole lot more to do. And I am still walking in my purpose. And I'm not done doing that yet.
Let me piggyback that then. And I'm sorry, gentlemen, I'm going to double question this too.
Well, Robbie just did it, so it's not like you're doing anything
I know.
wrong.
Normally, I'm the one that double questions it anyway, so I'm surprised Robbie beat me to it.
I learned it by watching you.
I know, right? Which is perfect, because that parlays exactly into my question that I have for Professor. So, Professor, you and I go back since 2016. I actually did that math earlier, and I was like, holy hell, it's been 5 years that we've known each other. And throughout the pandemic, you and I were messaging each other because I'd comment on your stuff on TikTok, and you were sitting there just yelling at me like, you need to get on this too and just give it a shot. Like, I get the fears and all of that stuff. Let's just do it. I'll help you. And you were right there with me along every step of the way with it. So you already know I already have a lot of appreciation for you because I've publicly said it on TikTok. But if you were to have somebody, let's say like Robbie, because he just did his first TikTok last week, and you were wanting to inspire somebody, yeah, go ahead and show it real quick, and then we'll come back to the question.
So we can make sure that you get the full context of what you need to be giving advice to.
And then we'll come to the question.
All right,
I love it.
Better run, you better do what you can. Don't wanna see no blood, don't be a macho man. You wanna be tough, better do what you can. So beat it. But you wanna be bad, just beat it.
What do you think?
Okay, okay.
I love it.
So if you were to have somebody,
You just roll your eye.
a little bit. If somebody was to walk up to you and say, Nick, I see all the success that you've had and all the things that you've been doing. How do I end up becoming like you? And you and I've had conversations like this off air in different ways where, you and I've had the constructive criticism conversations. But if someone that you didn't know was just having a Q&A session with you about how can I, quote unquote, be great like you on social media, how does the professor explain that?
Be yourself. That's what I always say, because I get that. Like, what I was hosting it was a job fair, but it was a different kind of job fair where they had like a DJ and food and all this stuff, and they were trying to get people to come in and put in applications, and they wanted me to be the host. And there was a guy who came in, and he was like, I came to like put in applications, but also came to meet you because I saw you were going to be here, and I'm trying to get out there on social media, and I was wondering if you had any advice for me. And I said, just be yourself, be genuine, be who you are. There is, I don't know, those of you who are on TikTok, and I know all three of you are on there, but I don't know how much you like go down the rabbit hole of watching the content on TikTok or have talked to other people who go down the rabbit hole. Everybody's experience on TikTok, as far as the algorithm is concerned, is unique. Nobody's FYP is the same. Everybody has different stuff. There are mutual likes that we all have, but everybody's stuff is the same. It's different. Excuse me. Nobody's stuff is the same. And there are so many different pockets and sects of TikTok. They have laundry TikTok where people just sit around and watch videos of people folding laundry. There's bread talk where you can watch people make bread all day.
Or cut bread.
There's jail talk where there are these videos that guys in jail are making as they have TikTok in jail and they make videos in jail. So there's so many different parts. Witch talk, cosplay talk, DJ talk, wrestling TikTok, metal TikTok. It's everybody got something. So whatever you're into and whatever you love, there is an audience there for you. I'm lucky. I'm blessed because there's so many different things that I love. So there's so many different kinds of content that I make. I make headbanging videos. I make wrestling videos. I make teacher videos. I make straight up comedy videos, lip sync, karaoke. There's so many different things that I do, and there's an audience for all of that stuff. And people really just love it and they enjoy it. So TikTok is one of the first social media communities that I've been a part of that is just like, if you've got a thing, we got other people who are into that thing and will follow you and watch your stuff and interact with you. And that's what a lot of people come to TikTok for, is interaction. If you go to my videos, I try to go through all of them and like every single comment and respond to as many comments as I can, as many that TikTok will let me. I'll go into the mentions and any kind of duets or any mentions that people have for me. I try to go to those videos, check them out, see what's going on, because it's interaction. And, that's what a lot of people want, is they want that interaction, and they want to know that there's somebody out there who relates to them, who sees them. People want to be seen. And I don't just necessarily mean the physical kind of seeing. I mean, see who I am, see the person that I am, see in me, my personality, things that I'm into, things that I like, my emotions, my feelings, my spirit. People want to be seen. So if there's something, because he was like, I'm a musician and I play, guitar and do all this stuff. It's like, okay, put your songs on TikTok. Sing your songs, put your songs on TikTok. People will come and find you. Well, I'm into, I'm a florist. So I like to cut flowers and put them in a vase. There's an audience for you. Make your videos of cutting your flowers and somebody will come and watch it and like it. And at least one of your videos will blow up a little bit. And then you could just piggyback off of that. Like, just post it. There's a video that's on TikTok that I love. And I saw it one day and watched it like 3 times in a row. And I can't find it anymore. But it's somebody who's basically just saying, post your content. Post your contents. What are you waiting on? What's the hang up? You got
that
something
was what
that
you told me.
Yeah, post your content. Be who you are. People will find you. Was I wrong, Matt?
Okay.
No.
You are not wrong. And I actually want to elaborate a little bit on what you were saying because you're not wrong. The biggest thing for me, and I'll break the fourth wall on myself because Professor and I had this conversation for like what 2 days. One it seemed like. Uh, for me, it's a personal block because you and I all, you, me, and the other two gentlemen here, we all came from a video style of communication, anyways, with eFeds. But moving into TikTok, it's a whole other type of fear because you're not in that protected walled environment anymore where
Yeah.
only 100 people see this. No, now you have a chance of, oh man, there could be 200 million or a million hit like you've had. You don't know how many, and then there's that influx of emotion that comes with it of, oh my God, what could we do or what could happen with it? So having those conversations with somebody like you, and I don't mean to use you as an example for that, but I kind of have in this because you and I've had the conversation about how it became full circle. Like when I was leaving those video feds and you were coming in, you gave me a shout out. And it was just like, hey, you got me to step in front. And then when we circle back a few years later and you're telling me, hey, I'm pulling you up front, just get doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of, we can sit here now like we did off air. It's like, here we all are. Even Robbie with his stupid ass video he just did. I love you, Robbie.
That video is
It's-
fantastic. You got to stop doing that. That video is
It
great.
is. It is. The big thing for people is getting past the fear. And like you said, be yourself. And even with my content, do I try to come across like I'm in a wrestling version of The Daily Show or Last Week Tonight? Very much so. But it's also very much, as you guys all know me behind the scenes, it's not too far off from who I really am.
Yeah.
It's just a slight difference of who I am. So just be yourself, be who you are, and don't be afraid to step out of those walls and be yourself.
People will find you. Like your audience will find. It's like I know White is a football guy. I know Minnick is a football guy. I don't know about you, Robbie, but
I like to drink
college
beer.
football, especially for me.
I like to drink beer.
Goes hand in hand.
Welcome into the community, sir,
Yeah.
of football fans, because there are a lot of guys who like to do that. There was, there's always this kind of mantra with kids who play college football who want to get to the league, where they're like, everybody's got tape. They'll if they want you on their team, they'll find you. Doesn't matter what school you play for. If you're good, they're gonna find you. And that's TikTok. If you are yourself and you put it out there, and there are people in this world that find it entertaining, they're gonna find you. You'll find your people. I was blessed enough to find 860,000 people, and I'm still fully convinced that 800,000 of them are bots. However,
Yeah, I gotta say it is official now. By the way, 860,000. I've been keeping up with it.
what that happened today?
While we were
happened
live.
since we started the show.
You're
You were
kidding.
9.9 when we started, and I keep checking it. Like, that's why I keep looking at my phone. I'm like, did he hit 860?
Holy crud! Look at that.
Look at you.
So that's just, we're playing with house money, man. I'm not gonna stop saying we're playing with house money. It was never the plan, never the intention. But for this stuff to pop up and happen now, and people to be into it, and now, like, since we're breaking the fourth wall. Hey, Cole Cabana, how you doing? I'm getting emails from different like big companies who are like, we want to work with you. We want you to push our content. We want you to push our brand. It blows me away, man, because a year and a half ago when I started doing this stuff at the beginning of being in lockdown, I didn't even want to do it. The first time I downloaded TikTok, it'll be 2 years in January, because I downloaded it for the first time in January and automatically deleted it. January of 2019, 2020. I deleted it. It was like, this is a kid's app, because I remember I had Musical.ly, and TikTok is basically Musical.ly, and I hated Musical.ly. So I was like, I'll never figure this out. I'm too old, and I deleted it. And then lockdown started, and a friend of mine was like, "You really need to get on TikTok. Like, you'd be perfect for us." Like, nah, I deleted that once already. That stuff is stupid. She's like, "No, you need to get on." So I downloaded it again. I played around with it. Started looking at the trends and the videos, and it all came to where we are now. So it's just surreal, man. And it tells me that there's a bigger plan, a bigger purpose behind it. So I'm just gonna keep pushing with it, and well, it is well. It is well with my soul.
I'll say one thing for sure. There's a lot of dirtbags out there. I'm glad a nice guy like you is getting that success.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Literally, of all four of us, we can all sit here and agree we're glad it's you.
I'm so glad it's you.
Absolutely.
Maglio,
like real-
after the week that we just had, it's so funny for me to hear you say that right now. But that's
He was
okay.
telling all of us behind the scenes
Almost
too. Don't
nothing
worry.
but nice things
True.
about you this entire week.
I know.
Except
And I
for
was
that one
saying-
time I stuck the Music City Miracle in because
I know. And they won again this. We'll see you in January, baby.
You
We'll see
will
you in January.
on our way to the next Super Bowl. That'll be great.
Oh, fun. We'll see you in January.
Nick's always got to get his jab in.
Look, man, the Buffalo Bills are great. They're
really
a
are.
great team. Josh Allen
Well,
is
the
solid.
Titans.
And if
Titans
y'all make
are number one team in the AFC right now, I think.
Yeah, Titans number one in the AFC. That's right.
Yeah.
But if the Bills make it to another Super Bowl, I just hope they have a kicker this time. Anyway,
Oh, shout out to Scott Norwood and Steve Christie.
this is
Your mother's an astronaut.
I hate doing this because I love talking to you so much, but this is the part of the show, man, where we give you full screen, let you as if there's a reason for you to push your socials, but send your
Floor is
message
yours,
out
sir.
to the-
Yeah, you never know. You might get another 100,000 before the show's over.
Not from us, but
No, I mean I'd have to create.
You never
my
know.
own.
Could just blow up.
we're
Right
the
as
part.
that
We're
popped up.
the Pat McAfee show of wrestling TikTok. We're just terrible.
Yeah.
Well, does that make me Aaron Rodgers?
Yes,
I mean,
it does.
but you. Okay, we're gonna.
You're immunized
yep.
and everything.
Leave it alone. Let's leave it alone.
Yep. Dealer out.
All right, Nick, the stage is yours, my friend. Say what you will. Enjoy yourself. You know I love you, buddy.
Love you, sir.
Thank you.
Love you guys. So first off, my thanks to Robbie, to Nick, and to Matt for having me on. This has been an absolute joy. It's like four friends who went to college together that finally get together after graduation and say, "Hey, look at us. Look at us. Hey, look at us." Who would have thought? Not me. But I want to thank you guys for your friendship and everything that you have meant to me over the past couple of years. I truly appreciate it. And Robbie, I know I haven't been as in contact with you as much as I have with Nick and Matt, but just know that I love you and I appreciate you and everything that we've gone through over the past couple of years. To start off, you can follow me on all social media at Mr. Professor 318. That's on TikTok, on Twitter, on Instagram. And also you can find me on Facebook at Mr. Professor 318, as that is the tag name underneath my fan page on Facebook and on YouTube. But I don't really post on YouTube. So, I mean, I'm not, in all honesty, as I always say in my lives, check out the content. If you like it, great, give it a follow. If you don't, that's cool too, but I appreciate the consideration. Because at the end of the day, if that's what you want, if that's what you're into and that's what you want to check out, then you're more than welcome to do so. And if it's not your cup of tea, not everybody, some people think cucumbers taste better pickled. So it's all good. But I do want to end this the same way that I end all of my live broadcasts on any social media that I do. And it's to say that if no one has told you today, you are loved, You are appreciated. You are important. You are more than enough exactly as you are. And always remember to be great. To the guys at the Uncut podcast, to the guys at the Indy movement, I thank you and I appreciate you for having me on. And anytime that you'd like to have me back, just say the word.
Oh God, I don't know. I hit the wrong button.
Man, how'd you just ruin that, Nick?
How'd you just ruin that?
It was a beautiful moment, and then I fucked up.
He did it on purpose. He
We
did
had
it
the
on
most-
purpose.
We had our most sentimental, heartfelt, and outro, and then you just can't hit the button.
I hit the wrong button.
It's one
almost-
click,
I
Nick.
almost hit the ban button. I was like, oh, that's not it. Hold on, fuck me.
The man is sick.
I'm dying, y'all.
We're glad you came, Nick.
He's
Which
got the
one?
typhoid Mary right now.
Jesus Christ. Well, Nick, I'm just gonna let
Thank
you hang
you,
out
Robbie. I appreciate it.
because
No, man.
I want to hear the porn star story after we go.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
We're
didn't
gonna
forget,
have to
dude.
stick around for this part. We'll make the outro quick. Next week is going to be Thanksgiving. We're going to drop an episode though Thanksgiving mornings while you're driving to your mother-in-law's to eat her dry turkey. You can listen
Small
to the Uncut podcast. Go part 2 with Bill Alfonso next week.
Bonzi back in the house.
Bonzi.
Back in the house. Our boy
Dude,
Bill Alfonso.
I don't know if you know this or not, Nick, but we got almost 50 people signed up for the whistle and autograph giveaway.
Hey man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, dude. He gave
Have
away.
you signed up for it, Nick?
Not yet,
Dude,
but I will.
Sign up, man. Just say you're in
I'm in.
There it is. Nick Harrison signed up. It's official.
on the page, though.
No, shut up.
Oh, I
Robbie.
will do that.
Nick Harrison can do whatever he wants. He
He
has
really can.
860,000 more fans than we have. Just
Fair
I
enough.
don't know about all
Right.
that.
man, that's Robbie Cutthroat. That's Matt Minnick. I never get it right. At Love Panda 24x48. Down here, Mr. Professor 318, Nick Harrison. I'm at the Ace Nick White. This has been the Uncut Podcast, brought to you by the Indie Movement and the Music City Drive-In Podcast Network. Oh God, I have to do it, don't I?
You don't have to do it. You don't have to do it.
I do. We're like 50 some odd episodes between the two versions. I have to do it. Robbie, how many clicks is it?
1 and 2.
Oh my God, it's the worst thing that we do.